As somebody who streams and primarily streams video games, I felt like I had to talk about all of this Pragmata drama. It should be said that I have not played the game. I wasn't really planning on playing the game, and it seems like a lot of people weighing in on this subject also have not played the game. They're just coming in to stir the pot and monetize their social media sites. So this is an article from Kotaku saying, I need everyone to be normal, start being normal about Pragmata. The person who wrote this, Kenneth Shepard, wrote this article. He played the game for the first time last year. They had played about 30 minutes of the game, and a colleague came up to him and asked what was his reading of Diana, the android made to look like a young girl, and he said, I didn't have much of an impression of her yet. Then, like a baseball to my gut, she told me she was worried the character might be pedo bait. As we talked about it further, she told me that she'd been asking folks at the event whether they saw her that way, and overwhelmingly it seemed like the men were not seeing the same thing that the women were. I didn't want to speak to Capcom's presumed intent, but the conversation was something I knew I would keep an eye out for when the game finally launched. Last week, my review of the game went up here at Kotaku, and throughout my time with it, I stayed mindful of these reactions and genuinely interrogated whether I thought there was anything to them. Ultimately, I came away feeling like Pragmata was pretty respectful of Diana in the final game. The trouble with discussing topics like this is the anticipation of something insidious is sometimes more frightening than anything actually happening on screen. And regardless of whatever Capcom's intent was, Diana has unfortunately been subject to sexualization online. Capcom then, wittingly or not, stepped on a rake with a Twitch badge that some believed was a dog whistle, referencing a pedo meme. Even if it wasn't meant to be, it's been co-opted as such. You go to the replies of several forum and social media posts about Pragmata and see people expressing discomfort with Diana's design, as well as some people publicly criticizing the character's more modest redesign after Capcom made her blue coat bulkier in her final appearance than it was in the game's earliest pre-release trailers, then getting promptly suspended for violating terms of service. Some argue that being uncomfortable with Diana's design is a self-report that says more about the person communicating it than it does about the game, but given the very real danger, it's more reasonable to flag something that's concerning. Whether it's because some social media channels are getting more lax with moderation as the worst of humanity is able to buy their way to the tops of algorithms, or because we're in the midst of a public reckoning with horrific realities of the world as a result of information being brought to light by the Epstein files and tell-all investigations, like the Quiet on the Set documentary, people are scrutinizing the portrayal of children in media more than ever before. For many, it's coming far too late, and for those who've been harmed by adults in power, will never get true justice. But it raises the question whether Diana is actually sexualized in the game, or if the mere insinuation that a child could be sexualized is enough to make people uncomfortable with her presence. Regardless of what actually happens in the game, after playing the game myself, my sense is Pragmata largely feels like it's going out of its way not to defame Diana in a compromising way. That's not to say the game is beyond reproach, and I'm more willing to hear out folks discussing it in good faith. It's especially important to hear folks out who have different lived experiences and are more in tune with red flags than myself. Several point to Diana's seemingly out-of-place default design that doesn't include shoes, which seems both odd and impractical, but could also be read as untoward. I wish I could say that the conversation around Diana being pedo bait was the only cloud hanging over Pragmata right now, but at a time when every big video game is conscripted into a culture war against its will, the game's take on parenthood, which is really healthy overall, has been wielded by some of the craziest conservative gender essentialists to claim a victory against the woke left. Women can't even play the game on stream and be endeared to Diana without a grifter claiming this is a win in their battle against declining birth rates. I have a hard time believing that Pragmata, a game that seems to have one of the least complicated views on parenthood in the dad game subgenre, is actually some kind of pro-parenthood propaganda. But it's 2026, and the culture war demands winners and losers. If Pragmata isn't a win for an imagined battle, it's a loss. It cannot simply exist as a story about a surrogate father and his robot child. The same crowd will tell you that The Curtains Were Just Blue, about most art media, is seeking some sort of conservative win in a successful game, lest the other team score a point. through the ever-moving goalpost. Pragmata is, regardless of what Capcom intended with any of this, out in the world and free for culture vultures to chew up and spit out when they find something new to devour. For some folks, it sounds like simply creating a game with a playable child character is inherently a non-starter. Is the fear that children will be mistreated in a story so strong that our only recourse is to simply exclude them from any story we tell? Sometimes it feels like that's the only way people will be comfortable, and it's sad that we've reached a degree of fearing for children's safety that's something the answer is to hide them away entirely. I frankly don't know what the solution is, but I don't think we're going to find it like this. I didn't read this article before stream. I think this is a very well written article. I do really appreciate what he said about red flags. I think maybe some people come into this seeing a trailer for a game or seeing posts exist, and maybe those same people see red flags because of their own lived experiences, right? I think that's a very respectful analysis of what's happening with the drama of this game. Earlier today, I watched a short video, a reaction type video about the game, and the whole video was about trashing different content creators. They just used like, you know, a graph of several different people all in one window and saying that they were going, you know, they were the typical women that are going to end up alone and childless, drinking their way through life until they die, right? Like, so that's what you take out. It's like I said, it's a way to get views, to monetize content. And I think we have just reached a point of madness in society that I don't even know how much people believe in the own hate they're spreading. They do it just to get $1. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I don't think it contributes anything good to our society. And now here I am having to comment on it because, like I said, I primarily stream games as my content. And obviously, as a woman, I feel for women who are being attacked for deciding not to have children. I feel for women that are Black and do voiceovers for video games, and they get attacked because of the color of their skin and being a voiceover artist. So this is a post by a guy who's been posting nonstop about Pragmata, it seems like. And the post has 6.5 million views. So clearly they just have a problem with a person of color existing and working at all. And what's funny is somebody else called them out, actually, because they said, a day ago you were obsessed until you learned the voice actor was a Black woman. Pragmata is destroying years of leftist programming and activating women's ovaries in real time. Like, I want to know, out of all the people talking like this, how many of them actually have families? How many of them actually have children? Because all of this is just coming off as rage bait to monetize the rage bait. I don't even feel like this is that much of society that truly thinks this way. I think it's just a very vocal, loud part of the internet. And I think people are just addicted to rage bait, and they see it work and they see that they make $1 out of it and they keep going with it. And I think that attention and whatever kind of money they might be making off monetization becomes addicting. One of the most disturbing parts about all of this is that Reddit had to ban the subreddit Pragmata because it became flooded with sexualized content about the main character Diana, which violated the rules against suggestive content, including minors. There was even a moderator who quit over the, quote, PDF shit problem. There you go. Even a mod had or felt compelled that it was so poorly managed that they decided to quit and leave the subreddit, and until the point where Reddit just finally said, wash your hands of this, get rid of it. As much as we could say, like, okay, are people reading into this too much? Are they projecting too much? We can't ignore the fact that Reddit had to remove the Pragmata subreddit. But then there's also weird takes like this, where somebody comes out and says, Reddit had to ban Pragmata because there were too many lewds, and they had to create a Pragmata safe for work. And people are mad that they couldn't upskirt her and that the feet are the most replayed part on YouTube. A normal person would read this and go like, wait, what? That's so messed up. And yes, it is. The subreddit thing especially is so messed up. And I'm like, wait a second. This person is upset that they can't upskirt a kid. Yeah, I don't care if the kid's a robot. It's still a kid. Somebody else on the flip side screen grabs this and says, this is the most replayed part on YouTube of the Pragmata trailer. And yes, this is the most replayed part of the trailer, but I think it's a bit of a effing stretch for you to zoom in on her feet. Like, dude, you cropped in. You chose to zoom in on the feet and show that when this is the full frame of the most replayed part. Everything feels so defeating. Even the people that you say that they're standing up for the non-sexualization of children in a freaking game. Are you though? Because you're the one who zoomed in on this. Or are you part of that same problem? I would say, once again, bravo to Kenneth Shepard. I think he hit a lot of very important points. I got to agree with him. I don't know what the solution is, but I don't think we're going to find it like this. So what's wrong with Pragmata? Because at the end, it's not the game. It's the people. Okay, that was just my TV voice. Please don't use that. You can use it as a joke. Okay, you can use it as a joke. Anyways, at the end, it's not about the game. It's about the people. I mean, what's wrong with Pragmata? At this point, I'm not seeing anything wrong because I don't even think it's about the game at this point. It's about the people. You said it, oh my God, am I losing it? No, I did 2 takes. Are you hearing the 2 takes that I did? Twice in the same sentence? I'm losing it. I mean, what's wrong with Pragmata? At this point, I'm not seeing anything wrong because I don't even think it's about the game at this point. I did, God damn it. I'm laughing, I know. Serious subject matter. This time, I won't repeat myself. So, what's wrong with Pragmata? I don't really think much at all because at the end, it's not about the game. It's the people. Was I laughing? Was I laughing? You were kind of robot-y. God damn it. So what's wrong with Pragmata? I don't really think anything because at this point, it's not about the game. Wait, no, what did I say? I'm adding too many words. Okay, what's wrong with Pragmata? I don't really think anything at this point because at the end, it's not about the game right now. It's about the people. I was trying so hard not to laugh.